The English word trauma is the same word which in Greek means wound. Okay? In Greek it means wound. Now isn't that amazing? What is wounded? We can't necessarily see. Do you remember we talked before yesterday about physical and metaphysical? So can we always see that wound in the physical? No. No, we can't. We can see a physical wound, but we can't see an emotional wound, a mental wound. We can't see those. But does that make them any the less present? So somebody's sitting in front of you and they're whole, you know, they've got all the bits in the right place, but they can be a mass of wounds, scars, ugly, sore bits, you know, weeping, pussy, nasty. When I say nasty, I mean nasty for them, nasty, you know, red, sore, whatever. So, means wound. And to experience trauma is to be wounded at some level of our being. The experience of wounding is usually accompanied by some type of shock or pain at either a physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual level. Trauma is always associated with fear. Can't separate them out. Trauma is always associated with fear. Being wounded is a frightening and painful experience, and there is a potent relationship that exists between trauma and fear, which expresses at an aura level. Traditionally, the Fern root in Māori culture is associated with warfare, conflict, trauma and suffering, and this association includes all brutalising and traumatising situations for which warfare and conflict are all metaphors. So all of the 7 fern essences are made from native ferns and are perfectly suited to address trauma and suffering. As we said, trauma will stay there until it's cleared. It doesn't go away once it's in the aura. It doesn't go away by itself. The most common cause of aura impactation is trauma. The reason for this is that trauma is a very unique, singular and potent type of experience. Trauma actually short-circuits almost all, if not all, of our natural defence and protective systems we naturally have or create for ourselves, so it short-circuits them. Now, collective aura impactation or trauma is an experience that a group of people, a tribe, a culture, a community, a city, can experience collectively. And collective impactation of the aura results from experiences that affect large groups of people and in turn ourselves. For example, the funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales, caused a collective type of trauma. I think in New Zealand we see it when we might lose a game. Country's traumatised. Give me another example of collective trauma. Christchurch earthquake, perfect. And most people can't remember where they were or is it sort of locked in. It brings us back to the age that we live in now, because in previous times that collective shock was more limited to a small village or a small culture, but of course now we can instantly see what's happening in, say, Syria, or the things that are, the shocking things that are happening that are influencing the collective. So in your work with people, being aware that collective trauma is a very, very real thing and has just as much impactation on the energy field as personal trauma. One isn't worse than the other, one isn't less than. They all are stuff going into the aura, mixing with all the other personal stuff. So it's, you know, it's no wonder that people are increasingly becoming iller and iller. The Fern essences enable us to heal ourselves from these deep-seated traumas that have lodged or been locked into our cellular consciousness. Yes, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because if we, thank you, Mia, if we look at the ferns and we know that at the underlying or that family is the energy of love, aroha. But what is the other quality that's associated with that? Neutrality. So we're lifting love to a new vibration. That love doesn't mean sympathy for you. love means holding a space of neutrality, of which is another word for empathy. We have empathy for that soul who is going through whatever they are going through. We are right there for them. We are not sympathising with them, because we cannot help them or assist them if we come from a place of sympathy. We have to hold our energy field in that state of love-based neutrality. Only then can we assist that other soul. So coming back to the aura, that space of love, when our aura is clear and healthy, yes, we can be in that space of aloha or love for that other soul, but a definition of it, which is the correct definition of it, which comes from that place of neutrality.